Hello, great to have you with us again today on another edition of the program Let's Talk. Now, Nigeria, as you know, is set to mark her 52nd independence anniversary on the 1st of October. And as you know, Let's Talk gives us a wonderful platform to analyze some of the basic challenges in the Nigerian system with a view to proffering workable solutions. Now, we and the entire Believers Love World nation join patriotic Nigerians and the whole of Africa to celebrate possibilities in Nigeria in this great season with deep reflections into our national experience. Now, in today's topic, we are going to be looking at celebrating Nigeria's possibilities in the agricultural sector. But we will have more about that right after the break. Stay with us.
One Nigeria, we can make it if we try. I believe we can be people who truly serve the fatherland. I believe that all the labors of our heroes are not in vain. I believe.
Welcome back. Well, yes, we're still talking about celebrating Nigeria's possibility. Today, we are looking at that with regards to the agricultural sector. And I have with me Tola Fasheru. He is the CEO of Colossus Investment. He is also the president of the National Cashew Association of Nigeria. And he also is an agribusiness entrepreneur. It's so good to have you on the show today.
Good morning. So nice to be here with you.
Okay, so we are celebrating Nigeria's possibilities ahead of the independence anniversary celebration, which of course takes place on October 1st. And yes, you can see a touch of green here on the set, as well as some pieces of clothing, and all of that just goes to show our huge support and our huge belief in the possibility of Nigerians. Now, we are looking at the agricultural sector in terms of possibilities. And, you know, anytime we talk about the agriculture in Nigeria, there are certain issues. You know, we have the trying to diversify the economy of Nigeria to stay away from the overdependence of the oil and all of that. We also have food security as an issue, as one of the issues, and of course, to some extent, the overdependence of imported goods into the country. Now, looking at these three issues, as it were, what is your assessment of how far Nigeria has come as regards diversifying the economy, as regards food security in the country, and then also the imports?
Thank you so very much. Nigeria is a country that is so blessed and so endowed with natural resources, with human resources, and we are supposed to be a net exporter of agricultural resources. We have a very vast land area of about 84 million hectares, and hardly have we been able to utilize up to half of it. And you know, this land is rich, you know, so when we talk about food security, we should be the one actually bailing out other people, other nations that are not as endowed as ours. But just like you rightly mentioned earlier, all of this is as a result of the discovery of oil towards the early part of the 1970s. Nigeria had been a force, you know. Before then, Nigeria had always been a force to be reckoned with in agriculture. You remember our exploits in palm kernel. We were the largest exporter, largest producer of palm kernel in the 60s until the Malaysians came and they took the palm kernels, and then today they are doing so well in it, and we are barely able to you know, produce enough for us, not to talk of exporting it. But, you know, be that as it may, I think the first thing in moving forward is to assess, you know, first of all, assess where you're coming from, assess where you are, and then begin to plot a graph into the future. I can see a lot of prospects for us. I can see a lot of lessons that have been learned, and from the direction of the government right now, as we speak, I'm privileged to have some kind of close relationship, working relationship with the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. And I think he's been the Agri Minister is, you know, answer to our prayers. I mean, just like, you know, our man of God will always tell us, our man of God, Reverend Chris Kilome, PhD, will always tell us to pray for the nation. And I believe that he's been there is one of the answers to our prayers, going by his experience, going by his exposure, and the pedigree, and from what he's been doing. I just came back from a conference last week, an international conference, and the project manager for Melinda and Bill Gates said, "Oh, your Minister of Agriculture is a great guy. He will do a lot." So a lot of people respect him, and from his policies, you can see that a lot is happening. For instance, now there's a great plan to begin to boost cocoa production now, and there's a target to move it to 600,000 metric tons. We used to be number 2 before. Now we are number 4. But, you know, with a much reduced volume now. But a lot has been done. Seedlings have been made available to the farmers. Training is going on. And then the private-public partnership spirit is very much, you know, working right now. And, of course, the same thing is happening with our own association, the National Cashew Association of Nigeria. We're working very, very closely with the Ministry of Agriculture to see that we are able to give a boost to that sector as well. And in fact, the world, they're already seeing the changes. All you need is to make some changes, show a commitment, show a direction, and the world will take you serious.
Okay. Now, you know, when we started, we talked about the fact that Nigeria has so much land mass, you know, so much natural resources and human resources as well. Now, apart from the dependence, or, you know, apart from the dependence of oil when it came, what are some of the other things that are really militating against effectively maximizing the land we have for agriculture and, you know, having enough produce for exports and all of that? Is it only the oil that was responsible for this shift away from subsistence farming and all of this? Yeah,
of course, the direction of government is key. You know, the focus of government is key. The focus was driven away, so, and that's a major point. And but of course, there are a number of issues that are militating against agricultural development. The first is this idea that agric is a developmental project. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be business. You know, where you put in your resources, put in your inputs, and then you get the desired output, you know, to be able to take care of yourself, I mean, as an investor, you know, give you good returns, and then be able to make food available to others. Of course, it is important that we begin to shift the way we do things in agriculture. The small-scale farming thing cannot really help us. You know, using all these implements cannot help us. We need to go mechanized, you know, so that we can begin to produce more. Of course, research is important in agriculture. Research is important. What kind of seedlings are we using? Are they the high yield seedlings? Are they the ones that when the farmer cultivates an hectare, he gets the maximum in terms of volume, in terms of productivity, and in terms of quality?
Okay.
These are issues. So, government has to do a lot now in the area of research. Other countries, that's what they're doing, so that they can, year in, year out, multiply what they're doing. It's only in Nigeria that you find people who read agronomy or read botany that will say he wants to work in the farm, he wants to work in the bank, rather than do something in the agricultural sector. All of that needs to change. The reorientation, needs to happen for us, And of course, infrastructural issues, the roads, the road network have been very, very poor, which kind of cut off the rural areas from the urban areas, ability to get the commodities out very quickly. Of course, again, the marketing. What are the marketing structure that we have? How is the farmer able to, get his goods to the market and get the best returns for it?
On his...
That's it. Also preserving the product. At times, when we're even talking about food security, it's not only about the lower yield, it's not only about the level of production, it's also about the level of wastage.
Okay.
There's a great level of wastage, in Nigeria. Farmers are not, over the years, have not been taught the best way to preserve, to keep their goods, to, of course, the farming methods, and then the post-harvest handling methods. Okay. After harvesting, how do they preserve it? Which, dry it, keep it well, and all of that. So that will also prevent wastages. Of course, there should be a drive for value addition. Okay. Value addition. We can't stay at the crude or the raw level. So efforts, and we're seeing that anyway in value addition across the board. Okay. So that. Yeah.
What about issues like the uncertainty of land tenure, for instance, the difficulty sometimes in acquiring loan facilities to actually engage in the kind of farming that would, like mechanized farming and a cultivation of huge hectares of land and all of that? What about some of those things?
Yeah, they're critical. They're very, very critical. Finances are critical for agriculture. And of course, structures need to be put in place. The farmers are afraid, the bankers are afraid of lending out their monies because they feel the risk are high.
Too high.
Yeah, but where government is trying to do some kind of mitigation to kind of ensure or guarantee some of these loans, but whether they are actually operational right now is another issue. But I think we are working in that direction to see that government can at least secure and guarantee the loans. That will make it easy for loans to flow to the farmers. And it's very, very important because the bank is using depositors' money. The bank doesn't want to lose the money. But the other aspect is to commit. There has to be a total and overall commitment of everyone in the economy to support agriculture because that is the backbone. So even the banks should be made to lend a certain percentage of their profit. That's a commitment. It's not all the time you look at, the highest bidder or where the highest return comes from. Because if we jettison agriculture, then the economy is put on a facade. Yeah. So that issue is very, very critical. And government should also, beyond the banks, government should also look for other ways of getting cheaper funds. Maybe export-import bank, U.S. export-import banks can go to some of these Chinese banks and get some very soft loans because 21%, 16% can't work for agriculture.
All right. Okay, well, we are looking at celebrating Nigeria's possibility in the agricultural sector this morning. And I am still talking with Tola Fasheru, who is the CEO of Colossus Investment. He is also the president of the National Cashew Association of Nigeria and an agribusiness entrepreneur. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, there'll be more. Stay right there.
The things we do today tell of a tomorrow filled with so much glory, an economy so vibrant, a society so tranquil, ever-passionate people living in peace and harmony. Join Christ Embassy on the 1st of October 2012 as we distribute 15 million free copies of Rhapsody of Realities in commemoration of Nigeria's Independence Day celebration and embark on inspiring charity projects across the nation. We are bringing the change, taking a stand of transformation in Nigeria. Reach Out Nigeria 2012, celebrating our possibilities. For more information, please call the following numbers. Follow us on UCOS at ucos.com/community/run. Christ Embassy, promoting patriotism.
Yes, we can.
All right, welcome back. It's the Let's Talk, and we're still looking at celebrating Nigeria's possibilities in the agricultural sector, and we have said quite a lot. Now, still talking about agriculture in the country, now with the unemployment rate in the country, and, you know, we've got perhaps stagnant technology even within agriculture, but it's surprising to find out that even with agriculture, which probably seems to be or would be the largest employer of labor if it were to be developed the way it should, people seem not to be so eager to go into it, probably because of the orientation like we mentioned in the beginning. And then of course we have government policies and some programs that don't really seem to do much or not create the desired effect. Now, how can this tide be turned around? How can we get everyone to actually believe in agricultural development again and have people actually come in and, like you said, not just see it as something that is a development, but also as a business that you can actually do and make a whole lot of money out of it? How can this trend be reversed, this mindset, orientation?
Thank you so much. Basically, for up till now, well, agriculture still provides is still the largest employer, but you know, you have to look at it. Are people there because they don't have any other thing to do, or they're in there for value? And so, and of course, that also tells us that the potentials are huge, even for much more employment. The issue is government should provide incentives.
Okay.
Government should work on development of infrastructure in the rural areas. You know, ensure that there are health facilities there, there are roads, you know, there are good educational facilities to encourage the youth, the young ones, to stay back there and do agriculture. And of course, there are things that government can do, training, to support, to give them, to develop their capacity, you know, to develop, to increase their yield, you know, so that at the end of the day, the young man is there and the guys in the city, they're envious of him.
Okay. Because
he's doing well. He can ride a good car, he can do things, you know, and all of that. And in a place like America, for instance, the farmers are not poor. The farmers are not poor at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, so, and we're looking forward to that kind of situation happening in Nigeria, where agriculture or participation in agriculture becomes a first choice for any youth.
Okay. Yeah. So you are very, very optimistic, and you're of the opinion that agriculture can actually be a driving force again and, you know, provide foreign exchange even for the nation. You're of that view if it's given the appropriate support.
Absolutely. you know, like we know, oil, even though Nigeria and today it's maybe about 97% of its foreign exchange from oil. But what is the impact? How many people are feeling the impact? How many people, you know, but Agric has a better spectrum in terms of impact, in terms of creating employment for the women, you know, women empowerment, you know, youth empowerment, you know. So I feel that we are on our way, because I hear the Minister of Agriculture always saying, I don't want to be a minister over poor farmers. Okay. You know, and you know, from some of the things that they are doing now, giving seedlings as very, very, making the, you know, hybrid seedlings accessible to them, fertilizers accessible to them. This will help in boosting the production. It will help in providing employment. It will help in providing wealth. It will help in really diversifying the income base of the nation.
Absolutely, and like you said, you know, probably it could get to a point where those in the city would actually be envious of, you know, the farmers.
We are looking forward to
business
that's
farmers.
My dream. That's
okay,
my dream.
We're looking forward, and yes, we certainly will get there. Now, when we talked in the beginning, you know, you kind of painted a picture of what it could be within agriculture. You know, we talked about Nigerian female and male farmers who can actually choose what to grow in any season after checking domestic and international market trends online, using the appropriate technologies that are available within the sector and the machineries, even on medium-sized farms. Now, can this be a reality soon?
Yeah, it can be a reality. The internet is everywhere. If you get to the most remote town or village in Nigeria, you can have access to internet. And, you know, with education, with enlightenment, with making people understand the possibilities, just like we're doing through Reach Out Nigeria, knowing the possibilities that are there, you know, and government working hand in hand with the private sector. Okay. You know, either to what we have had is government doing its own race, running its own race, and then the private sector just there in the cold. But now I can see a whole lot of synergy, you know, happening now, you know, so that the government have the necessary information to take decisions, and then the private sector also, they are going out of their way, you know, not saying, oh, we're leaving everything to government. Yeah. We're trying to make a difference, you know. The private sector trying to make a difference, just like we are taught, as our pastor teaches us. Wherever you are, make your own difference. Whatever sector or line that you are, make your difference. And that's one of the things, based on the message of my man of God, that's one of the things I'm doing and in my own sector. And I tell you, a whole lot has happened within the last 9 months that I took over as the National President of National Cashew Association of Nigeria. Okay. You know, it's been brought to the spotlight, and come 2013, cashew has been placed to be a transformational crop.
Okay.
You know, so which is big, and all of that wouldn't have probably happened if we had not shown enough advocacy, and you know, and all of that.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask my last question. You know, as a successful farmer and as a successful agribusiness entrepreneur, you know, I'd like you to perhaps give some tips for probably some people who would want to venture into agriculture. There's still a lot of uncertainty. You know, people are not really sure. They think that the risk is too high and all of that. So what would you tell those ones, some tips that they can really work with and make it happen in their own lives as well?
Okay, thank you. I remember you mentioned the issue of accessibility to land, you know, earlier on in the program, which of course has been a bane to the progress of people being able to get into agriculture. that is already being solved. Most of these governors, they are calling people, if you have genuine interest in agriculture and you can show proof that this is what you want to do with it, I can assure you, you will have. If you have any challenge, you can come and meet me. I will, you know, make a case for you. But I know that most of our governors right now are ready to make land available to agriculturalists when they show, you know, serious proof that that is what they want to use it for. So it's not as cumbersome as it used to be. Also, all you need is draw up your business plan, you know, make inquiries. Each commodity or each product has its own peculiarities. So whichever one you want to go into, make enough inquiries on it so that you know when the planting is going to be done, when the harvesting is going to be done, how you're going to preserve it, how you're going to store it, and then when it comes to even marketing, whether locally or if you're exporting also, there are, you know, information, you know, that you can get to assist you in, you know, really creating wealth from agriculture.
Okay, so there is so much to be had. There's so much possibilities that are available within the agricultural sector, as we have been made to understand. This morning, we've been looking at celebrating Nigeria's possibilities within the agricultural sector, and I did have the pleasure of talking with Tola Fasheru, who is the CEO of Colossus Investments. He's also the president of the National Cashew Association of Nigeria, as well as an agribusiness entrepreneur. Thank you very much for coming on the show and also representing, you know, being a green ambassador as well. Thank you so much for coming. Absolutely. And thank you as well for being part of today's edition of Let's Talk. Remember, we're going to be doing this, talking about possibilities within Nigeria, even as we go ahead to celebrate Nigeria's 52nd independence anniversary, which is taking place on the 1st of October. So watch out for more of such discussions. My name is Zoe Okafor. Please do enjoy the rest of your day and stay with Lovewell Plus.